Commission of the Spirit. My name is Buchi Odibo. Okay, we've been dealing on the purpose of prayer. The primary purpose of prayer is to behold the Christ of God in us, the Spirit of Christ, the glory within us, so that we can be transfigured. There will be a metamorphosing. And the scripture will be used in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. But we all, with open face, beholding as in the glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into that same image from glory to glory. That as we behold him, when you got born again, this glory is in the believer. The Spirit of Christ is in the believer. So what prayer does that we begin to behold, we begin to look unto him, we begin to focus on him, so that the locked glory within the believer, the Spirit of Christ, is unlocked to capture the soul of the believer. Now you see, once the soul is captured, the glory captures the soul, the character, the quality, the weight of the glory of Christ now is now poured in the soul of the believer. Now we know that in the soul of the believer is the will, is the emotion, the urges, is the mind. They're all locked up in the soul. So that is when what Paul calls the renewed mind, or the mind of Christ. The mind of Christ is the glory of God. That's the glory of God. Jesus is the glory of God revealed. So the believer transfigures into this glory by beholding. And one of the vessels, one of the channels we use in the place of intimacy, in the place of prayer. You could have been too taught on how to pray and change situations and change circumstances. As amazing as that is, if that change happens and we are not metamorphosing, we have not now touched the purpose of the redemptive work of Christ. Because he died and was raised that we might become custodians, the carriers of the Spirit of God, so that the Spirit now can unveil, the Spirit can be released on revealed in the soul of the believer. Once the soul is captured, the believer now can manifest the fullness of his sonship. That the believer now, by the spoken word, can change the circumstance, can change the situation, because the believer is speaking from the well of a renewed mind or a captured soul. Glory be to God. So intent of prayer is to form Christ in the soul of the believer. Paul said, "My little children, of whom I travail, the Christ is formed in you again." That transformation, or that formation, morpho, that's the formation of Christ in the believer, is the primary purpose of prayer. It's a very sensitive thing, because if you miss that transformation, that transfiguration, and you are tied to change things, most times what I want to change the world, but we have not changed inside. That is a paradox. That's the complication. First, let prayer change us. Let Christ be revealed in us. Let the qualities, the peacefulness, the mercy, the meekness, the long suffering, the patience, these are the fruits of the Spirit. These are how Jesus reveals himself in the soul of the believer. We call it the fruit of the Spirit. In the Spirit is love. In the soul is the fruits. The Spirit is a spirit of love we have received, but it must be unveiled. It must be made manifest in the soul. The change happens as we behold it. This is why he gave us his word. This is why he gave us his Spirit, so that we can have an intimate intercourse with Jesus in the place of prayer. We must go beyond just wanting to change our circumstances to changing us. When we receive the change, we as vessels changed can become agents of change. Changing our world is not a problem. The major issue, you changed. Once you are changed, you now become an agent from heaven that can change the world. I remain your host, Buchi Odibo.